Hello, welcome to this weekend's bulletin at Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster. It is very good to have you with us, and we're looking forward to hopefully some of the racing surviving the elements. It's been a bit wet and windy and wild this week. We've lost a lot of racing, and we already know a few of the meetings scheduled for Saturday have come a cropper. We're hoping that others will survive. My tip today is going to be at Kempton, or for Saturday, of course. And I can't see that being affected unless there's some sort of biblical type of flood in southwest London. Well, if you're new to the service, do press the subscribe button just below this. I'm always looking for horses at decent each way prices. And whilst I'm always hoping that they're going to win, of course, very often if they do play, it's enough to at least get your money back and make some sort of a profit. So that's the way we work, and that's the way it has proved successful over seasons and calendar years since we started in July 2021. Now, I gave you a couple of selections last weekend. One didn't run on the Saturday, but the other one did run on Sunday. And this is a typical example of the type of horses that we look for. Mr. Freedom ran a really good race at Plumpton in the grandly named Sussex Champion Hurdle, second at 12-1. So a nice each way profit. I hope you were on. I've got the one choice for you for this quieter weekend than normal, and I'm hoping it's going to run well. However, over at Out in Front, my subscription service at Patreon, I've got three very nice price selections for Saturday, which we're very optimistic about, and all being well, there'll also be one or two selections for racing on Sunday. And don't forget as well that it's the Aintree Festival next week. How could you forget? I'm going to be tipping on all 3 days at Out in Front. And of course, I'll also be back here same time next week with my selection for the Grand National and maybe another race over the weekend next Saturday. But don't miss this opportunity to sign up for Out in Front, where in March, despite having had an indifferent Cheltenham Festival, which is a rarity, we still managed to show a nice profit to level stakes, having started the month off at Out in Front with a real bang. So, of course, it's a marathon, not a sprint, as I say. And it's profits that we're in the business of making. So if you want to join us, sign up at the link that is available in the description box just below this very screen. So now on to the one free selection here at Sportsbet TV for Saturday. It's at Kempton, the 3:15. It's the 2 mile Queen's Prize handicap, standard to slow, polytrack and 14 runners. And this is the first decent staying handicap of the British Flat season. Used to be run on turf, of course, but for some years it has been the centrepiece of a fine all-weather card at this meeting. And in the last 5 years, just to show the lack of predictability, the SP spread of the winners extends from one going in a 5-4 favourite winning this race out to a 50-1 winner. So very clearly anything could win it. But there's been plenty of interest in the James Owen trained Sweet Fantasy. She's been pretty much all the rage in the early betting, although has eased out a touch as we move into Friday evening. She had been 100-30, now out to 4-1. She's very clearly run away with a race over hurdles at Catterick over 2 miles last time in a novice event. On the flat, she hasn't been tried beyond 1.5 miles, and that's my concern, because while she's won at 2 miles over hurdles, running 2 miles at a very sedate pace in testing conditions over the sticks is not the same as a full-on gallop over 2 miles on the all-weather, and I'm not convinced yet that she's up to it. We'll find out. I may well be wrong. We'll see. Aquam is trained by Ian Williams, and Aquan gained due reward for some very solid efforts in staying handicaps this winter on the all-weather when he won really comfortably over this trip at Lingfield last week. Has gone up £4, but that takes him to a career high mark now. So whether he's able to defy it and whether he's as effective racing right-handed remains to be seen. Jamie Osborne has got one that's being quietly supported. It's called Duty of Care, and it was second in this very race 12 months ago, but that was in a small field, an unusually small field for this race. That was a £2 higher mark here, and it hasn't managed to get its head in front since, but it is fully fit and wasn't at all disgraced last time out behind one at Newcastle in what's probably a better race. That was at the Easter Festival meeting at Newcastle. James Ferguson, he's got one called Novel Legend, who won first time out over this course and distance 12 months ago, and then went on to enjoy a really good season, winning at Newbury and Goodwood. He is £3 higher than his last win, but he really does rate a danger, I'd say, if he's raring to go again after 160 days. And then you've got some old favourites, some veterans like Sleeping Lion for James Fanshawe and Good Old Island Brave for Heather Main. That'll probably be targeted at the Newcastle Northumberland Plate meeting. They're both capable when things drop right for them. And Sleeping Lion should be fairly straight after a decent run over the course and distance last time out. Then you've got another one, Tritonic, a really good dual purpose horse. And John Joe O'Neill has an unexposed flat horse called Circuit Breaker, another one with claims in a decent race. But my choice here is a horse trained by Andrew Balding and the mount of Infor Machine Murphy, and he's called Spirit Mixer. He runs in the famous colours of Jeff Smith, and he really does catch the eye. A progressive horse, this one, in both 2021 and 2022. He won 5 times at up to 1 3/4 miles. And then you may recall him running the race of his life in the 2022 Northumberland Plate, a race that's quite unforgettable because it saw potentially, or possibly I should say, not potentially, one of the best weight-carrying performances of the modern era, which was the victory of Trushan off a mark of 120. Now, Trushan gave 2 stone to Spirit Mixer and just got the better of him in what was a fabulous, fabulous race for the Northumberland Plate. And people forget just what a race Spirit Mixer served up to Trushan that day. Even receiving lumps of weight, it was a massive performance. Now, he's now a 6-year-old. He ran once last season at Musselburgh, so clearly had a setback after that run. But he really did show that he retains all his ability when he shaped with a lot of promise at Lingfield over 2 miles, and that was 5 weeks ago after that long absence. And he kept on very nicely, I thought, from 2 furlongs out, and hinted, certainly to me, that run would bring him on. Now, the bonus is that he's been dropped £2 since then, and the bigger bonus is that Machine Murphy is taking over from the apprentice rider. So I think Spirit Mixer looks set to run a very big race indeed. The early 10-1 has gone, 9-1 still available at the time of this recording with William Hill and with Bet365, and I think he's going to run a mighty race. So Spirit Mixer for 4 places, but hopefully back in the winner's enclosure at Kempton in the 3:15. A reminder to you that if you want to get my other 3 selections for Saturday to make up your Yankee or whatever you're going to do, then you can check out the subscription service at Out in Front on the link in the description box below this screen. But for now, until we meet again next Friday on the eve of the world's greatest steeplechase, the Grand National, I'll say goodbye to you and wish you the very best of luck. Bye-bye.